Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This week we're diving headfirst into Premier League Week 4. Specifically, that weekend, September 13th and 14th.
Definitely a big one.
Yeah, some weekends just seem to crystallize things, give you a clearer picture of the season. This felt like one of those.
Absolutely.
And we're not just here to, list the scores. Our mission today is really to peel back the layers, find those key insights, stuff that tells you more than just the headlines.
Yeah.
We want to look at how the table started to take shape, what these results really tell us about the teams.
And it's crucial, isn't it? These early games, they set the tone. They're the building blocks for the whole season's story.
Right.
They can spark belief, expose some vulnerabilities, really set the psychological mood for months. How teams react now, well, it can shape their whole campaign, confidence, tactics, even the fans' mood.
Exactly. And what a mix we got. Some expected wins, sure, but also some, pretty jaw-dropping results, too.
Yeah.
It was almost like the league just laid its cards out for us, gave us a clearer sense of the hierarchy. So let's jump right in. Our deep dive starts at the top with those title contenders, the ones making some pretty unmistakable statements.
Okay.
So let's talk Arsenal. That 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest. People called it clinical, a statement. But what really stood out in their performance? Why did it feel different, didn't it?
It absolutely did feel different. It wasn't just the slick attacking play or the finishing, though. Both were really good.
Right.
What struck me was the collective synergy. The midfield and attack just seemed so integrated, so cohesive. You saw players like Ødegaard not just passing, but pulling defenders around with clever movement, opening up space.
Intelligent.
Exactly. It wasn't just relying on one guy to do something amazing. It was the whole unit working together. For Arsenal, a team sometimes accused of, lacking that killer instinct.
Yeah, fading a bit.
Yeah. This felt like they were really stepping up, turning that potential into something, quite intimidating, actually.
So more than just 3 points, then. It's sending a message.
Precisely. It's a huge psychological message to the league. It says, look, we're serious contenders, and we're efficient. Ruthless, even.
Yeah.
For Forest. A really harsh welcome, a reminder of the quality they're up against week after week.
Yeah, a tough lesson. Okay, shifting gears, but staying with those big statements. Those derbies. Wow, they delivered more than just points, didn't they?
They certainly did.
Spurs' 3-0 win at West Ham. Just stunning. People are calling it a psychological blow. Is that fair? Or maybe overstating it a bit?
Oh, no, I think that's fair. A game changer. Maybe. But definitely a significant psychological blow for West Ham. It was a masterclass in counterattacking.
It really was.
But not just raw pace. It was the decision-making. Players like Son, they weren't just fast. They were so precise in transition. They broke with real purpose, overloaded the wide areas, got into those channels.
And West Ham's defense just couldn't cope.
It just crumbled. Usually they're so solid, but they couldn't handle that relentless pressure, that surgical execution. This wasn't just 3 points. It was, a clear win in the battle for London bragging rights.
Right.
The size of that result, the dominance that's going to linger. It sends a very clear signal about Tottenham's own ambitions. Their title credentials look real.
So it's like saying, our attack is legit and we can handle the pressure.
Exactly that. A bit humbling for West Ham, maybe a reminder of the gap. But for Tottenham, it confirmed they've got the flair and the steel.
Okay. Now, if anyone affirmed their dominance, their dynasty, it was City, Manchester City. That 3-0 win over Manchester United. Many are calling it the defining moment of the weekend. Was this just City being City, or did it reveal something deeper about where both clubs are right now?
It was the defining moment, yes. But it was definitely more than just City being City. It felt like a snapshot of, the current state of top-level football. You had City, just a perfectly built machine running at peak performance. Every pass, every move, every tactical tweak seemed flawless, pre-planned. They controlled everything.
Yeah, total control.
They just suffocated United's attempts to build anything. And on the other side, United looked like a shadow of their former selves. A giant, sure, but one clearly in flux, vulnerable. The issues weren't just individual errors, they seemed systemic.
So for United, it's not just a loss, it's a stark reminder of the rebuild job.
Absolutely, a glaring exhibition of it. The result affirmed City's dynasty, yes, but it also just highlighted this huge gap, this immense task still ahead for United. It shows that even with massive resources, building sustained success takes more than just spending money.
Right, it takes time and cohesion.
Exactly.
Okay, so if City the pinnacle, this fluid machine, what about everyone else? How do they compete? Whether it's for the title or just, survival? How do they find their way to win, like Bournemouth did?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Their 2-1 win against Brighton, that was pure grit.
It really was. And that's the point, that not every team can or even should try to play like City. Success looks different for different clubs. Bournemouth beating Brighton is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Brighton loved their possession football. It's attractive. But Bournemouth just completely undid them with directness, with sheer fight. It looked like a classic smash and grab.
Huh.
But don't underestimate the discipline needed for that. Absorbing pressure, then hitting them with a sucker punch. They didn't just hoof it. They played long balls with purpose, bypassed the midfield, got at the defense quickly.
That kind of win must do wonders for confidence early on, maybe even more than a comfortable victory.
Oh, absolutely. You might look back on that result as a real turning point for Bournemouth's season. It was forged in pure character, pure spirit. It signals they have the fight needed for a relegation scrap. They showed they can soak up pressure and hit back. That's often more valuable than fancy tactics down there.
And for Brighton.
A bit of a reality check. Beautiful football is great, but determined, direct teams can really disrupt it.
It does raise that question, doesn't it? Is winning ugly sometimes the most beautiful win? We saw similar stuff from Newcastle and Fulham, too.
We did.
Both grinding out 1-0 wins.
Yeah.
Newcastle against Wolves, Fulham against Leeds. Not exactly thrillers, but they got the job done.
Exactly right. And those wins highlight something crucial in this league. Winning when you're not playing your best. That ability is huge.
Right.
Newcastle Wolves was tight, defensive, decided by tiny margins, staying focused for 90 minutes like that, keeping a clean sheet when chances are scarce. That takes immense concentration.
And Fulham?
Similar story against Leeds. Showed real resolve, didn't dominate the ball but kept their shape, scored from a set piece, then just defended for their lives. Not perfect games, but they got the job done.
So it goes down to character again. Just finding a way to scrape out results.
Absolutely. For Newcastle and Fulham, these wins confirm that resilience. They can eke out points, and those points add up. They can be the difference between comfort and a real dogfight later on.
And for Leeds.
They'll be kicking themselves over missed chances. A painful lesson that you have to be clinical. Sometimes, yeah, that hard-fought, maybe slightly ugly win builds more belief than anything else.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, it's clearly not always about playing breathtaking football, is it?
Not at all.
Even the very top teams, they need to be pragmatic sometimes. Liverpool's 1-0 win over Burnley felt like that. A different kind of test, needing a lot of patience.
That's a really good point. That Liverpool game gives you a more nuanced look at the challenges that even elite teams face.
Right.
Burnley set up deep, disciplined, very hard to break down. Liverpool had to be patient, keep the ball moving, probe, wait for that one moment, maybe individual skill, maybe a set piece. It just reminds you that even the most dominant sides sometimes have to roll up their sleeves, be pragmatic, and just grind out a result. That shows a different kind of quality, doesn't it?
Championship medal.
Exactly. That ability to win ugly, to find a way when things aren't flowing, it says a lot about their depth, their tactics, and their mental strength.
Okay, so let's shift from those hard-won points. Sometimes, the silence of a 0-0 draw speaks volumes too.
Definitely.
We had 2 last weekend, Everton and Villa, then Palace and Sunderland, both goalless. Felt cagey, cautious.
They were cagey. And it really tells you a lot about that mid-table muddle, where sometimes not losing feels more important than trying to win.
Yeah, damage limitation almost.
For Everton and Villa, that draw must feel like 2 points dropped, not 1 gained. It raises real questions about their ambition, their attacking ideas. Where are the goals going to come from? Is the creativity there?
And Palace and Sunderland.
A very similar story, a missed chance to build some momentum. These weren't like master tactician draws. They felt like draws born out of mutual caution, a real lack of cutting edge from both sides.
Yeah, that caution must just ramp up the pressure on the managers, surely. Find a way to unlock the attack.
Absolutely. Because, a clean sheet is nice, but if you consistently can't score, you're not going anywhere. You just get stuck in that frustrating mid-table zone.
What's really interesting, though, is even when there are goals, lots of attacking fire, fundamental questions can still remain, like Brentford and Chelsea.
Ah, yes. The 2-2 draw.
Thrilling stuff. For the neutral, anyway. Frantic, end-to-end, a great watch. But what did it really show us about those teams?
Well, yeah, a feast for the neutral, like you say. But probably a source of real concern for both sets of fans, especially Chelsea's.
Why Chelsea particularly?
Because their attacking power was obvious. The movement, the skill, it was there. But the defensive mistakes conceding 2 goals like that, some quite avoidable, it just raises serious doubts. And can they sustain a title challenge with those kinds of structural weaknesses?
So even scoring 2 isn't enough if you leak 2.
Exactly. It's hard to build consistency that way. For Chelsea, it feels less like a point gained and more like a wake-up call. It really highlights that balance is key, even if you've spent big on attackers.
Ken Brentford.
Showed their own attacking threat, definitely. But also maybe a similar need to tighten things up if they want to be more than just, the plucky underdog.
Right. So even in exciting, high-scoring games, the underlying problems can sometimes shout louder than the goals themselves.
Precisely. Performance isn't just the highlights. It's about being solid, consistent for the whole 90 minutes.
Okay. So as the dust settles on week 4, these results, they really do resonate beyond just the scoreline, don't they? They paint this vivid picture of how the season's narrative is unfolding. We're seeing this clear stratification, like you said. A few teams genuinely look like title contenders. Then there's a group fighting hard for stability. And then others still trying to figure out who they are in this relentless league.
And understanding those deeper stories, the why behind the results, gives you so much more than just looking at the league table.
Yeah, the context.
Exactly. The context, the character, the strategic challenges, what might happen next. It's about seeing the currents flowing underneath the surface results.
So let's wrap up this deep dive. Thinking about everything we've discussed from Week 4 Arsenal's statement, City reinforcing their dynasty, the grinders winning ugly, those struggling in the middle. What do you think is the most crucial, maybe overlooked ingredient for sustained success in this crazy pressure cooker that is the Premier League? Something for you all to mull over until next time.